Stonehill College senior Hannah Guidi is taking the word service to a new level, not only as a captain of the Skyhawks Division I women's soccer team, but also as a cadet in the United States Army.
I think partly just something like inside me felt like a need to always want to help others, and I think that I just felt a want and desire to give my service to something greater than myself or just those right around me. And being in the Army, it's like I'm proud to put on this uniform every week here at Stonehill. I'm proud to do Army events and be interactive with those in the military. Like, I'm proud to have the patch on my shoulder that says the United States. So I think growing up in a family that's always loved the U.S., obviously that kind of played a role in it, but for myself, like, I love this country and I love putting on this uniform, and I have no problem saying that I'm in the U.S. Army. So I think for me, just ultimately wanting to help others in a nation I do love too, and in a selfless service in a sense, I think it's just something that really I felt called to do. Well, I'd say the serving the country part comes from my older sister, Jeanette. She was in ROTC at Siena College, which is in New York, and I grew up watching her be in ROTC and then later in the Army, and she really inspired me to take this career path. And on the soccer side, I was looking at schools, back in my recruiting days, and I remember the first time I came to Stonehill for an ID camp, I said to my dad, like, this is where I want to go. I just loved the campus, how beautiful it was, how close-knit the community was, and the team and the coaches, and it was just really all around a great opportunity for me. So I think they are personally able to help me because I have to deal with a lot of different levels of maturity, a lot of different grade levels, and as being in charge of the ROTC program here at Stonehill this year, I have to learn how to deal with other people's problems, how to best help them. So that's really developed my leadership abilities and qualities, and it's really just a good thing to be able to have to deal with multiple people, multiple different situations. And it's helpful to them because I was once that young cadet who didn't know what I was doing or where I was going, and I had really good mentors. So to be able to carry on that mentorship to those below me, it's almost like passing it forward. I think in ROTC you learn a lot about leadership and a lot about how to develop yourself professionally and how to interact with people. And in soccer, a lot of those skills and leadership qualities that I've learned have carried over onto the soccer field, whether it is with another team or with my own teammates. Being able to cultivate those relationships and use both of the skills I've learned in soccer and in ROTC to better myself and the people around me. It really means helping others, however best I can help those in the Stonehill community, my friends, my teammates, my peers, as well as those in the greater ROTC community. We work with Boston University and Mass Maritime, so we're kind of spread out around Boston, so that's another community that I get to serve, so it's really cool to be able to help both and interact with people in different communities. It's definitely a unique experience. I love both that I do. It's been a challenge and an awesome opportunity to be able to go to Stonehill and be a women's soccer player and also be an ROTC cadet. I really enjoy both of the teams that I'm a part of here, and they each balance each other, and it's definitely a lot of commitment, but it's worth it in the end. My coach has, over the past 4 years, played a huge role in allowing me to do ROTC and be a student athlete. There are a lot of coaches out there at other schools who told me no, I would have to choose, and I always knew I had these two dreams of playing soccer and being in the ROTC and later in the Army, and she never said no to my dreams. She's been super supportive the last 4 years, and really one of the reasons that I was able to do both. I sometimes had to miss practices, I even had to miss some games, and there was never a question. It was, okay, we'll talk about it when you're done with your time with the Army for the weekend or whatever it may have been. So she's been a huge support. This past summer I was gone for 6 weeks down in Fort Knox for training, and she would text me at least once a week, ask how I was doing, check in on me, and she always said, like, she really just supports what I do and like knows it takes a special person, and there's never been a doubt in her mind when I told her that I wanted to do ROTC. It's always just been, yes, how can I help you? I would say, again, my sister, she was in the Army, and I have a couple other relatives and friends who are also in the Army, so I think that was just a great option because I grew up around it. Also, Army is the only branches that was offered at Stonehill out of the other branches that you could choose for service, so that kind of made the decision easier, but also the familiarity with the Army I really liked. I think with soccer, I fell back a lot on the things I've learned in the ROTC program and a lot of the leadership qualities, because times did get very tough throughout the season. There were a lot of long nights, a lot of disappointing results. But I think as a senior on our team, the underclassmen looked to us to see our response, because that then engaged their response. And I think throughout the season, in the end especially, we were able to have success because we never gave up. And we never said these were the cards we're dealt, so everybody expects us to lose, so this is how it will be. We never did that. We decided that we were going to prove everybody wrong, even though we were the underdog in every game we played, and ended up doing very well at the end of the season. Yeah, especially as a senior, it was very memorable. And we worked so hard all year. You know, we were not getting the results that we wanted, and we were putting in 110% effort. So we felt, especially towards the end of the season, that we deserved this win. And we knew once we won a game that we would boost our confidence to be able to win out more games. It was awesome to finish my soccer career winning. We went on senior day, which was an awesome experience and like a memory I will hold forever. And at the end of the day, we proved everybody wrong. We were ranked 10th coming into the season, so we were ranked to finish last, predicted to finish last. And we ended up 6th, and although we cannot go into postseason because of a technicality, we did make postseason. Our whole team knows that and believes that. And the last game we played, we beat the team that ended up winning the whole NEC tournament, so that's a pretty cool thing to be able to say. I think it's very important to have a balance of everything, and each realm, whether it's my own family, my ROTC family, or my soccer family, they've all supported me, and each one of them like uniquely understands what I'm going through. So like my coach understands what I'm going through on a student athlete level. My ROTC cadres understand what I'm going through as an ROTC cadet. And honestly, my family, my parents see everything that I go through, and they definitely, my parents have been my biggest support and the people that I have fallen back on when times have gotten hard, or maybe I was overwhelmed and didn't know what I was doing, because it is a lot to be able to commit yourself to 2 things fully. So I think just having people in every aspect of my life who could relate to me and knew me very well is one of the reasons that I was able to do what I was able to do. I would tell them that it's a great opportunity, and don't be scared to try it out. You might surprise yourself, and you never know. When I was younger, I always said I never want to be in the Army. And then as I got older and I saw my sister in the Army, I said this is maybe something I could do. And then it kind of got put to the wayside because I was like, okay, I want to play soccer first. And then I was able to come here, and I kind of just took a leap of faith, and I went to one exercise in the morning, the physical training we call it, and I was like, okay, I can do this. I love this. So don't be afraid to put your foot in the door, because you might be surprised how well it works out. I think it's definitely important. It makes me more aware of my surroundings in a sense, because you're kind of taught that. And then also, just in general, it's a great thing to know how to help other people, maybe even just the mere small amount of exposure I've seen to how to help somebody who is in medical need of help is really just a life skill that everybody, I think, should have. It also is like a reality check. You know, we'll have these classes where, hey, this is how you apply a tourniquet, and this is how if somebody has a chest wound, you stop them bleeding. But like, if you really think about perspective, like that could be me someday out there on wherever it may be in the world, and somebody next to me is depending on them for me to save them. So I think that's a huge reality check, and you have to see it all in perspective. Like, this stuff is very important specifically for the Army, because you could be the difference between somebody making it or not making it. I mean, to anybody who decided to serve this country, thank you. I have the utmost respect for you. It's a call that not a lot of people answer to, and it's a scary call, and it's a big call, and you have to be very selfless in your service to the military. I love veterans, obviously. I mean, I think they're some of the best people out there, especially those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. That is just something that is truly selfless and admirable. And their families as well. A lot of people think about those in the military as like a soldier in the Army, but they forget like there's a lot of people that help them to be in the Army and stay as a soldier, and there's a lot of families that have to go through what those in the military may go through, especially on Veterans Day, those that may have lost loved ones. Thank you to you for your service to helping them in the military, and thank you to the service to this country, because it's truly admirable. So after I graduate in the spring, I will go to training from anywhere from 3 months to up to a year for your specific branch in the Army. And your branch in the Army is like your job. So you could be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, work in like healthcare administration. So after college, I'll go to that training. And then if I want to do any follow-on schools, such as they're called like airborne, aerosol, specialty schools to enhance yourself as a leader, you can do those. And then in about a year's to year and a half time from when I graduate, I will get stationed somewhere. So I will be stationed anywhere in the country, or it could be internationally, that I will be put on a military base, and that's where I will live and that's where I will work. I think my dream in the Army is just to leave it better than I found it. I think with anything you do in life, you want to help other people and leave whatever organization you're part of better than you found it. I've had so many people already in my career help me and put me in the position that I am to be able to have successfully played 4 years of soccer and be able to go in the Army, that I want to pass that forward to others and help them too.